in people.
The measure, backed by Alderman Brian Hopkins, would have let police set curfews citywide with just 30 minutes notice. It fell short by 7 votes. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is expecting to get key police union endorsements as he seeks re-election. This comes just after a former NYPD commissioner filed a lawsuit accusing the department of corruption under Adams. And fans are dragging a new Tina Turner wig launched by her estate. Made from 100% Remy human hair and designed by her longtime stylist, the pricey piece was slammed online, with some saying it looked like Little Orphan Annie. It was pulled from all platforms within hours. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
The Major League Baseball season resumes today after the All-Star break. The Dodgers are at home tonight against Milwaukee. The Angels are at Philadelphia. The Detroit Tigers open the second half of the season with the best record in baseball at 59-38. The Dodgers have the second best record at 58-39. Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams announced his retirement. The 30-year-old Williams played 7 of his 8 NFL seasons with the Chargers. Williams was struggling to recover from an undisclosed injury from last season. Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders hosted a community festival at an apartment complex in Cleveland that was damaged by an explosion and fire on June 23rd. More than 40 residents had to move. One person was killed. Deion's son put together the festival that included free food, haircuts, and games for kids in the area. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Give people what they want.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black Altadena is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unsettled you. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. Happy Friday. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First. My very first thing every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's go. Let's go. So it's Friday, and this is how things go on Friday. We call it Freedman Friday because we always have a focus on reparations for our second hour. It's an intentional way of building momentum around this issue, furthering education around the topic, and exposing ourselves to all of the progress, the setbacks, but mostly progress that's happening in this area of reparations. So that's what we do, hour 2. Hour 3, it's a grab bag. You just never know. Well, today we got the phone lines open, and we're going to talk about it, whatever your it is. Man, there's a lot of it going around. First hour of the show, we typically have a wonderful partner in politics. Every other Friday, we alternate between Ed Sanders and Sherri Bell, and it is Sherri's turn at bat. Sherri is a KBLA contributor and a labor activist. Good morning, Sherri.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning out there, KBLA family.
That just feels like such a woefully inadequate description of you. Labor activist and KBLA contributor. She's a mom. She's a member of this community, actual native Angelino.
Just one of the gals.
Oh, you said your friendly neighborhood Dorsey Dawn.
Yeah, I'm just I'm just one of you. Everybody out here got a part to play. I'm just playing my part.
Yeah. Well, so yesterday I said, and I'm going to do my best to remember to stick to this, that every day we get into the issues and we talk about what's all bad and try to focus on what's all good. But there's a lot of doom and gloom right now. There's a lot of things that make us freak out in the news right now. So I thought we should start each day with some kind of pledge or reminder to be fearless.
Man, who you telling? I agree with that. And I was just thinking about with all that's going on, a lot of it is highly political, right? And you think about who got control. And I was just thinking about this is why it's so important for us to stay organized as a community, as a people with common interests, because politics at the moment is so motivated by money, right? Money is so involved in what we see, who gets elected, how these politicians make their agenda, who they listen to. And so the only thing we really have to counteract that is organizing, right? So even with the lawsuit,
I mean, organizing and fearlessness, right?
Fearlessness,
yes. Which is the power of the people. That's the only thing that's going to save us. Yesterday, I quoted Audre Lorde. I said, I'm intentional and afraid of nothing, but I said the quote wrong. She says, I'm deliberate and afraid of nothing.
You have to be in these times, because if you sit back and you just listen, it'll consume you, right? And so that is a good reminder, because a lot of what the news chooses to tell us does kind of tend to want to beat us down and keep us depressed and making us feel powerless. But this message of being fearless is one of being courageous, and so I'm hoping people would take that away.
So when you talk about organizing, that's your way of being fearless, right? You're leaning into action rather than sitting there and passively allowing yourself to be battered by the headlines.
I mean, speaking truth to power, right?
Yeah.
That takes a lot of fearlessness, right? Getting in front of like a powerful, influential person and telling them that you need to do something about these issues that are impacting us. Like, you got the rich folks over here, corporate people over here, and then you got the rest of us, right? That are struggling to make ends meet. That have these issues in our community that should be addressed, because we all deserve to live with dignity and respect and thrive in communities. And who's gonna do that? Nobody. They're not. I can't think of a time in history where a person that had the authority to do something just did it on their own with no influence, no pressure. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the famous Frederick Douglass quote, right? Power concedes nothing without a fight. I mean, it just doesn't happen, and that's part of the fearlessness. But again, I think to your point, there's things happening that are meant to send the opposite message on every single level. And I'm looking at Stephen Colbert's show
Mm-hmm.
getting canceled.
Right.
And it's canceled, I think it was day before yesterday that he criticized the deal with Paramount where they paid off the president for his lawsuit threat.
Right.
They're saying it's a purely financial decision. It's just a coincidence that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert happened to be canceled, a show that's been on for more than 30 years. It had nothing to do with him criticizing Paramount.
Yeah, we all know that's not true. And he's like one of the top rated shows on CBS, so he's bringing in that ad revenue, especially for that time frame. And so I'm pretty sure there's shows on CBS that don't bring in the type of eyes or eyeballs, on the screen. So it's like, are you gonna cancel them too?
Not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount, said the executives, including George Cheeks, president of CBS. Our admiration, affection, and respect for the talents of Stephen Colbert and his incredible team make this agonizing decision even more difficult.
It's retaliation.
Yeah. In other words, we're supposed to believe that it had nothing to do with the criticism of the $16 million that they're paying to bribe the president of the United States to not sue them. Settle.
Yeah, somebody with an ego at the top didn't like it and made the decision. And honestly, they probably have more in common with Donald Trump than Stephen Colbert. So, he's
good point.
Rich.
He said he called the 16 million a big fat bribe, which is pretty much what I just said. Except I don't think Tavis is going to fire me for that. But that merger still needs to be approved by the FCC, so they probably don't want him popping off about it,
man,
on the air.
Either he gonna continue to pop off or he gonna stay quiet and sue them.
Well, and here's the thing. Trump is very retaliatory.
Oh yeah.
And if Colbert is saying that, that firing him is probably a value-added, part of the deal, right? Not only will we pay you $16 million, we'll fire that little annoying dude.
Yeah, and it sends a message, like a chilling effect. Like if you speak out against the Trump regime, like you will be taken out.
Definitely, and he's not the first one. Remember the CBS, the producer, longtime executive producer of 60 Minutes, stepped down.
Oh, right.
That's also CBS.
Is that Terry Moran? It wasn't.
No, that's not Terry Moran.
That's a third person.
Yeah, that was another person. So
right.
Yeah, because Terry Moran is on air, right?
Right.
And this CBS executive producer was he was a reporter, and then he's at ABC. The 60 Minutes exec producer, I can't think of his name right now. He was there at CBS.
Another CBS.
Yeah.
Is that the Redstones, them rich people that own Paramount, they own CBS, they're really rich.
I know who you're talking about. Do they own CBS? I didn't think so. But
I don't
maybe.
know, but they probably benefit from them tax breaks that Trump has put in place. So basically, of course, they own the media. They're probably going to be benefiting from Republican policies. You got Colbert, who they allowed to be on the air all this time. But when you start getting too opinionated or fact-based, about what's going on, they got rid of him. And we're seeing retaliation happen in real time with people who are exercising freedom of speech. And I believe
Bill Owens, that's the guy's name.
Oh, from 60 Minutes.
From 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Bill Owens, yeah.
Yeah.
And he walked in, and then the on-air talent kind of rebelled and said some stuff about it on the air. I'm surprised they still have their jobs.
Man, they need to all start a show together.
Yeah, but where do you go? Put it on YouTube, I guess? I don't know. Ask Don Lemon how that's working out for him. But I think it's, to your point, they're meant to shut people up. And now, we'll talk about this when we come forward, but now he's threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal, which is a very conservative publication. He's mad because they printed a story about his ties to Epstein.
I knew you was about to say Epstein.
Yesterday. Now he's going to sue them. Meanwhile, PBS You know, that the Senate has already voted to strip them of $9 billion. So as soon as the House passes it, President will sign it. I mean, it's basically curtains for most of that children's programming and a lot of the reporting that we rely on. So it's an interesting time. And back to my way of starting the day every day is about courage. I feel like it has to be about being fearless. Even though you could say, well, you're safe because you work for Tavis. Nobody's safe.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be afraid. We should just recognize that it is what it is and keep doing what we do.
Fearless in our own life.
Yeah.
Right, like in our everyday in decisions.
That's a little harder, right?
But why not put it out there? Why not aspire for it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, agreed. I think that's the right way to be. Fear does nothing but hinder us. Stops our creativity, shuts down our progress. 800-920-1580. That is the number. Carl Tucker says Jimmy Kimmel needs to go. What? Why?
What you got against Jimmy Kimmel?
Kimmel was funny to me. Paul says, don't forget Joy Reid. Yeah, we ain't forgot Joy Reid.
Oh, just out of the blue.
Yeah, kinda.
800-920-1580.
I'm Dominique DiPrima. That's Sherri Bell. And you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
So much to talk about, Sherri Bell. So they did pass the bill.
Which one?
To cut $9 billion from public broadcasting and foreign aid.
Foreign aid.
The Senate passed it, but now the House has passed it. 216 to 213. That was just after midnight last night. Well, this morning. And this is going to the president's desk, so he'll
of
be
course
signing
he's going to sign it.
Say peace out to Big Bird.
Man, Elmo, he the reason why my daughter graduated with honors. No, I'm just playing.
It's probably the reason why I graduated with honors. Today's show is brought to you by the letter F.
Right.
For something that rhymes with muckery. Which is what's
100%.
going on in our government right now.
You talking about you cutting things that educate kids, right? That tell stories, grassroots stories, like highlighting like unique, journalism, foreign aid. We can't be this isolationist type of country. We go over and screw up everybody's economy, and now we're trying to withhold the help that we extend to folks.
Not just the economy. We bomb their buildings. We overthrow their governments, and now here's some chump change to feed your people. We're not even going to do that anymore. That's what they call soft power. I call it you break it, you buy it. Anyway, one good tiny ray of sunshine is that they voted to keep that $400 million for PEPFAR, which is the AIDS prevention program that George Bush put in.
Okay.
So now it's $9 billion instead of 9.4. But every Democrat voted against it, so that's something.
I mean, and I was just thinking about this earlier. I'm like, okay, you saving $9 billion allegedly. You're cutting it,
which is a tiny drop of money in the federal budget.
That's what I'm saying. Where's that money going? Right? What are you doing with these savings? Right? What are you doing with them?
It's a little tiny. It's a drop in the bucket for the party favors for billionaires. The giant billionaire tax cuts. That's what it is. So, So my point was, they're probably saying, easy for you to say, be courageous. You're over there with Tavis Smiley, and you're unapologetically progressive. I've been targeted before in other jobs, notably the Steve Harvey Morning Show. I was released from that show for my political views, no doubt about it, because they told me that those politics won't play in Peoria. We're going syndicated, and Tavis himself has been targeted. So, we live in America. Yes, we have KBLA 1580, and we appreciate you guys fighting for this to exist. But we got a Republican in charge of the Federal Communications Commission who said that his number one priority is getting rid of DEI in broadcasting. That would be us, even though we've got no grants for DEI. Tavis bought this station outright. It's not, he got a hold of it with his own money and investors' money. There was no DEI, but that's what they'll call it.
DEI is synonymous with fill in the blank, no?
Yep.
Right.
What does the N in NWA stand for?
Right.
That's your hint. So, I just say that. And as you said, it's in our everyday lives, too. Another Audre Lorde quote, your silence will not protect you. Your silence will not protect you.
Right. I mean, of course, folks got to be strategic and when you can, but then sometimes there's things where it doesn't sit right with your soul to be quiet, especially when it's so much wrongdoing,
Yeah, I mean, you made a really good point when we were off the mic that a lot of people, when we're getting into our despair and freak out, which I'm not blaming us, I do it from time to time. Time to go do some yoga. Time to go do some meditation. To go do some organizing.
Right.
But that a lot of people are saying, it's going to take decades to undo the harm that's been done.
Right. It's going to take decades to do all this harm that Donald Trump did in 6 months. And I'm like, why is that? No, if we had got a courageous administration and courageous, Senate and House, we can undo this stuff in the same time or sooner than he done. It's just like, is the political will going to be there, right? Is the courage, are people going to be willing to get into some good trouble? It don't even have to be good trouble. It's just like, are you going to do the right thing? What did you sign up for? What are those campaign promises? But it's like, that makes a lot of sense, right? But because we allow money to be so heavily involved in politics, even though, we know as, people who, believe in just wrong and right in the world, right? And that people shouldn't have to die on the street. Like, people should have basic needs in life. Because we believe that isn't enough for people who get elected by people who also believe that. This administration is doing all this nefarious activity because of the money behind them.
Yeah, but a lot of these moves they've been working on for a long time, like repealing Roe versus Wade and stuff. They've been putting the chess pieces in place. You're right, though. I think you're right. And this is why what's happening in New York with the Zoran Mandami, that the people elected as the Democratic Party nominee for mayor, is so disturbing because it points out everything that is wrong with the Democratic Party. The people select a progressive who would make bold reforms, and then both Democrats and Republicans are attacking this dude.
Yeah.
So we can't get a Bernie. We can't get an AOC.
Man, Bernie.
We can't get a Mondami because the Democrats are just as money-driven, corporate-driven as the Republicans. The Democrats that control the party, the progressive wing of the party, is constantly being suppressed,
ostracized. Yeah.
I don't believe that's gonna stand, though. I think the progressives are going to start
eventually. I hope so.
Yeah, it's because if people keep making moves like they did in New York, eventually, to your point, we can change. We can flip it. We just have to be bold.
Yeah, and it has to take organizing within the Democratic Party, like progressive and others that believe that we need a bold, radical change in order to get the things that we need, because we're getting our butts kicked right now. We gotta. It's like you can't just take it for granted, right? That we're like everybody's going to vote the same way or do obvious policies that make sense to change the conditions, right?
Yeah.
They have to be organized, mobilized internally. It has to be like internal campaigns within campaigns. You know,
I mean, mis and disinformation is part of it, but part of it is that little milquetoast namby-pamby bowl. Well, maybe cuss on the radio.
I know. Like,
that, like, you know, yeah, credit to the line. Because it's, I hate to say it, but it's those, you know, Hakeem Jeffries attitude.
Oh,
what did you
man.
call him last week? You
Cornball.
Cornball.
Man.
It's the cornball Democratic politics.
Yeah.
They need to come into where the people are.
You know, we gonna have a real test on this courage right about now. When you think about gerrymandering, we've been taught to think that gerrymandering is wrong because it redraws districts to shift power away. It causes imbalances of power and causes more seats to be in one party than the other. But Donald Trump's saying on TV right now, hey, in Florida, I'm telling you, we about to redraw these seats. To redraw these districts, so we could pick up 5 more seats in the House or the Senate. You know, we're telling you right. California has the ability to do the same exact thing. We don't need a lot of seats to shift the majority, to have it more the Democratic majority. But it's like, are we gonna be bold and redraw our districts to pick up some seats?
So you're saying two can play that game. Florida's not the only one that can redraw and pick up
have
seats.
to. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose the majority if we don't do. If they get 5 additional seats and we just sit back and don't do nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I know that's I think you're right. That's why DC statehood. That's why Puerto Rico statehood if they want it. That's why. Oh, man, that's a lot of work to do. Lynette from L.A. is on the phone. Good morning, Lynette.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for taking my call, Dominique, and good morning to you and your guests. You know, it's a lot of things that we have not been able to, really make a priority in this country. And number one, is really the family, our children. You know, they're the ones that are really at risk, okay? I mean, you look at this, you know, our children are the ones that are going to be adversely affected by the cuts to the Medicare and, you know, the food stamps. And really it just goes to how, not immoral, but how amoral we are as a result of the so-called leadership. And it just makes me think that, you know, all this talk about, well, the children are the future, you know, and God save America. And, you know, we're really all this more, we're the light on the hill. And to me, it's like we have went to a very, very low place, and we need to hurry up and do what we got to do and impeach Trump. It's just no other way around it.
But Lynette, he's been impeached twice. He's been impeached twice. He's been convicted. He's got 34 felonies. Maybe the Epstein thing could be the thing, but I'm not even confident about that.
I mean, but see, you know, we don't talk about, you know, what Congressman Al Green has been doing for over a month now, trying to get you know, he's been drawing up the articles of impeachment. And it's no other way out of this except for getting rid of Trump and, of course, doing the reforms that you guys are talking about. And really, I've been feeling for a very long time.
Okay, Lynette, you got to hold that thought because I'm up against it right here for news, traffic, and sports. You're welcome to continue with us on the other side. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is celebrating after the city council failed to override his veto of a controversial curfew ordinance.
Today we are doing the right thing. We are deciding to focus on investing in people.
The measure, backed by Alderman Brian Hopkins, would have let police set curfews citywide with just 30 minutes notice. It fell short by 7 votes. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is expecting to get key police union endorsements as he seeks re-election. This comes just after a former NYPD commissioner filed a lawsuit accusing the department of corruption under Adams. And fans are dragging a new Tina Turner wig launched by her estate. Made from 100% Remy human hair and designed by her longtime stylist, the pricey piece was slammed online, with some saying it looked like Little Orphan Annie. It was pulled from all platforms within hours. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man. The Major League Baseball season resumes today after the All-Star break. The Dodgers are at home tonight against Milwaukee. The Angels are at Philadelphia. The Detroit Tigers open the second half of the season with the best record in baseball at 59-38. The Dodgers have the second best record at 58-39. Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams announced his retirement. The 30-year-old Williams played 7 of his 8 NFL seasons with the Chargers. Williams was struggling to recover from an undisclosed injury from last season. Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders hosted a community festival at an apartment complex in Cleveland that was damaged by an explosion and fire on June 23rd. More than 40 residents had to move. 1 person was killed. Deion's son put together the festival that included free food, haircuts, and games for kids in the area. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley show conversation with James Farr. At one point, James said something that caught me off guard. Not because it wasn't true, but because it is. Black Altadena is gone. I know it may seem stupid and non-productive, but I stopped in that moment listening to Tavis and James. I broke down and cried. In the back of my mind, I told myself we can bring it back like it was. But James Farr's reality check hit me like a ton of bricks. My community is being murdered. I said murdered, not by the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire, but by the people we elect to protect us, and by greedy and gatekeeping nonprofits who cannot see the forest for the trees. For the first time since the fire, I truly feel and understand my wife's inconsolable pain. Because I'm struggling to find a path to recovery and at least some form of normalcy. My community is crumbling right in front of my face. Lack of funding to rebuild is slowly destroying us. Many of us can no longer hold out, and developers are gobbling up our property. When I hear voices like Tavis Smiley and James Farr speak truth to power on KBLA Talk 1580, it reminds me that we're not crazy, just unheard. Make no mistake here, KBLA delegation, this is war, and we the people of Black Altadena are losing. It's like waiting for reparation. Not gonna happen, brother. In this new orange man world, no one, no entity is persuaded by right or wrong. There is no consequence for doing the wrong thing, and no accolades or support for doing the right thing. Will war-torn Black Altadena survive? Your guess is as good as mine. But what have I got to lose? I'm in my 70s and don't have time to wait. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once suggested that riots break out when people have no hope. But there's nothing left to burn down in Altadena. I wish I could say I remain hopeful that my beloved community will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes. I wish I could. With a KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Pasadena Community Coalition at gmail.com. Reach out to me. As always, we welcome your feedback.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, I do thank you. And you're also waking up with Sherri Bell. You can tap in on social media at KBLA 1580 on every platform. We're streaming at the moment on YouTube at KBLA 1580. And so I told you, Sherri Bell, that Trump is now threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal. That's because the Wall Street Journal published an article that basically outlined how Trump wrote this kind of innuendo-filled note to Jeffrey Epstein for his birthday, how he supposedly wrote on this outline drawing of a naked woman's silhouette, and then he apparently signed it Donald right below her waist, meant to look like pubic hair, his signature, and said, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." So he's denying this. It's funny, even Elon Musk was trying to get his back. So he's threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal. Meanwhile, his base is really in full-on mutiny at the moment around this. Even some of the Tucker Carlsons of the world critiquing him. So he's trying to use his usual playbook, calling it a hoax, saying it's Democratic radicals and weak Republicans, but it doesn't seem to be working so far. And the other thing that he did, which is slick, not slick, is he's now saying this morning, well, they should release the grand jury testimony. But he also said that's subject to court approval. Well, grand jury testimony is protected, so it can't be. So he's being funny. And some transcripts have already been released by Florida. That's not what they want. They want the files, the data, the videotapes, right? Epstein had a huge collection of videotapes. It probably makes, Diddy look like Sesame Street. That's what they want to release. And so he's trying to act like he wants it. Well, yesterday it was, she should release anything credible. Today it's release the grand jury transcripts subject to court approval, which they're not going to do. So you're just trying to make it seem like you want transparency when you really don't.
Yeah, I mean, that is very not surprising. Let me be in favor of releasing something that I know can't be released. But I mean, how can I say this, Dominique? I'm just so over trying to take down Donald Trump. I'm glad that the girls are fighting within his party, let them go at it over their disappointment with his promise to release the Epstein files. I'm happy. Anything I can see for them to, like a sign of life, for them not to be such a cultish following, is good news. But I just don't feel like releasing a drawing. You could even release a video with his shirt off in a foam party at Epstein house. You could. it's just, I feel like nothing is gonna make a difference. All he could do is just pardon himself if it's a problem.
Well, then why is he so scared of it? Lynette from LA, you were in the middle of making a point about trying to impeach him. Sherri just said she's over trying to get rid of him. I don't blame her because it seems like nothing works other than possibly McDonald's cheeseburgers and Diet Coke. I don't know what else can really take him down. Lynette.
I understand it completely, but to me, we do have a democracy, they say, and along with impeaching Trump, we better disbar Pam Bondi and those Supreme Court judges. I mean, they don't believe in the Constitution. They don't. They soon tear it up, burn it. I mean, they have no.
And they also lied under oath. They lied in front of the Senate, saying that they didn't support these Roe v. Wade being overturned when they absolutely did the first chance they got.
Another thing too, we, like you guys were saying, we got to do the reform. I think we can do both. Because, and another thing I've said for a long time, we better lower the voting age to 16. If they can put 14-year-olds in jail, they ought to be able to vote. That will turn things around. And then finally the kids will get what they really need and what they really want, because they are unseen and unheard oftentimes. And Jesus Christ says, suffer the children to come unto me, for such is the kingdom of God. So God puts a very high premium on children, and we should too. I mean, this is our come to Jesus time, folks. I mean, for real, we better wake up and smell the coffee. If we don't help these children, there is no future to even talk about. Okay?
Yeah.
Amen.
Much less a present.
I mean, I agree with your points. But I can also see what Sherri's saying. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, that's a definition of insanity.
So we've never given them a chance. I mean, we have.
I'm not
never
talking about the kids. I'm talking
present.
about getting rid of Trump. As far as the kids go, yeah, absolutely. But right now, I was talking about this yesterday, how the Trump administration, the Department of Justice has sent out letters to states demanding to turn over their voter rolls,
and who were
demanding
children, right?
demanding
the children were being abused, right? From Trump and them.
Yeah, that now you're skipping back to the Epstein thing, yeah. But what I was saying in response to your, lowering the voting age to 16, right now they're requesting voter rolls from every state. They're requesting to examine the voting machines.
What?
So yes, I think 16-year-olds should be able to vote. But it won't matter who votes if they're overturning elections. And right now, the push is to remove the authority from the states to run elections and move it over to the federal government.
Oh, so they want that back.
Yeah, they want that, and they're and it creates opportunity to cheat.
Well, Lynette, I think that getting kids registered in high school is a good happy medium until we can get the voter age lowered, getting them prepared for high schools in California. That's all we can control. Getting people ready for that,
Yeah, I think that's true. But it's also to Lynette's point, the whole Epstein thing is about kids, about the sexual exploitation of kids. And if you look at the way that Republicans are moving to legalize child labor, they clearly do not care about children.
It's about money.
Yeah.
They can work. It's like repealing everything that was fought for, all the things that were proven to be bad and detrimental for everyday people because they were profitable. They're trying to take it back. And they even trying to reopen Alcatraz. They're trying, everything that was closed and shut down, you're trying to reopen it. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, so when you deport people that are doing work that most Americans are not going to do, I don't know if they would. Someone called here and said if picking lettuce and being in meat packing plants paid $50 an hour, more people would do it. Maybe, but when you're deporting these folks and you're not planning to pay $50 an hour, what is the plan for labor? Is it the child labor that they're now making legal, or is it the labor of the
incarcerated
migrants that are now being detained by ICE? Because by revoking bond for millions of people that were waiting to go through the system legally to have bond hearings for whether or not they would be able to stay, those people are now going to be in jail, in prison, incarcerated, ICE detention. They can be forced to work while we pay their bills.
Legalize,
the taxpayers.
Right, we're paying the bills for corporations to enslave people to work for free. So everybody, they're getting away like bandits, and we're paying the cost. And some of these migrants that were working also like buy stuff in stores, contribute to sales tax revenue, things of that nature.
Many of them pay the regular income tax, the IRS, if they're really trying to get citizenship. They're trying to follow the rules. I saw an article a couple weeks ago how it's tens of billions of dollars in lost tax revenue that we spend on our program. So this is more complicated than how it was portrayed inside the campaign. And I hope that people are waking up to that.
All we're seeing a replication of exploitation of labor, right? Black folks, we the blueprint, and the people that we didn't think that was going to change things, but we were brought here to work for free for capitalists and to make off like bandits. And here we are again. We put people in jail, like the 13th Amendment. We put people in jail because that's where they can work for free legally, right? Involuntary servitude. So here we are sweeping up a lot of these folks that are making money on the street by doing a real job, but you're going to put them in jail to work for free. They're making revenue for these corporations, and like you said, that's what we're seeing. Like, I'm always going to come back to the money. It's if it ain't about the money, like that song, if it ain't about the money, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I'm telling you.
Well, my understanding is that once again in California, we will not vote to end forced labor or prison slavery, because this time the bill didn't even make it out of the assembly.
Wow. Yes.
And so for my understanding, I could be wrong, and more reading and research is needed, but my understanding is that is dead again this year.
Yes, a lot of people were conflicted, right, with this whole thing. Well, you do the crime, you do the time. Like, if you got to work in jail for breaking the law, then that's the crime you have to pay. But people not realizing that, like that whole movie, you Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. You know what I'm saying? Like, you building an infrastructure, and you don't think that people are going to try to put you in there intentionally by over-policing, targeting your community, and just locking you up for any little thing so you could work for free. Like, it's like that infrastructure, it has to be filled. Like, those beds have to be filled. So it's not just about, a person like committed a crime, let's lock them up so they be and that's their punishment. No, they're being targeted, rounded up, and when they ran out of people to do it with, for regular stops on the street or however they would do it, now you rounding up undocumented migrants who are not breaking the law so they can get up in there and do your free labor.
Yeah, it certainly is a possibility. And we are talking about millions of people now, since he revoked the bond hearings for them. They're going to jail.
So because
ICE detention. I don't know if that's technically jail, prison, whatever it is.
They're going to be
concentration
working,
camps,
I can tell you that.
whatever you want to call it. 800-920-1580. That's the number if you would like to weigh in. I'm Dominique DiPrima. She's Sherri Bell, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZQL Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Why'd I go to the doctor?
My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD. But did you know that Black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatalzearly.com. That's treatalzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-290-6207. 800-290-6207. Again, that's 800-290-6207.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
You do, and we're glad that you are here. It was Woodrow Wilson. Me and Sherri Bell were trying to remember which president it was who hosted a screening of Birth of a Nation at the White House.
Right.
Woodrow Wilson, 1915. Oh. First time a film was ever showed at the White House.
Wow.
And it was a white supremacy film.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
the irony.
Horrible. That was a horrible movie.
Yeah. How did we get there? Well, I think it was just a general conversation about white supremacy in politics, perhaps. Just, not sure.
Like we're not used to, is this nothing new to have somebody in the White House with those types of thoughts? Although now you won't hear them admit it. They will just do it with the stroke of their pen.
Right, exactly. That is exactly right. Or, a stroke of a donor. The executive orders, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So I was looking at the what I was talking about as far as the ending servitude, forced labor in California. And it looks like I was right from what I can see. The Assembly has put that bill, this latest version, which I believe is from Lori Wilson, has put it into the what they call the suspense file, which means, it's in limbo, pretty much. It means that they're saying it costs too much and they have to think about it or whatever.
What caused it?
I'm not really sure why, but that's something coming out of the Appropriations Committee, which is, they say, the place where bills go to die.
Yeah.
So it could very well be that, that was the excuse. But that bill was meant to force the state to create voluntary labor programs, which I assume would cancel out the involuntary ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because you think about, okay, they're working, but like, is the profits going to fund the housing of their stay in prison, or is the money going to, like, where is the, like, the private corporations are putting money into the prison, like, where's they're making stuff to sell out here. So I guess, yeah, the corporations are paying who? I don't get the setup.
They pay the inmates or incarcerated persons
very little,
like $1 an hour or $10 a day or whatever.
Right.
And many times that money is taken to pay restitution to victims, or taken out for other kinds of fees to the worker who is an incarcerated person. And then whatever remains, whatever 92 cents remains, goes into on their books as money that's available to them. But from what I understand from interviewing a couple of these folks, that's hardly anything. By the time they get done paying the fees that the prisons require,
it's just weird because it's like you have these prisons and you have a budget for these prisons. So that means that you have a budget to house inmates. A lot of our taxpayer dollars are here to house the inmates. So it's like the private company should have no business in doing business with prisons in the first place, because the prisons have their own budget. So that's one thing. And the second thing, if they're trying to reintroduce this bill, it's going to have to be written differently. They cannot introduce that same bill with that same language and expect it to go anywhere.
Yeah, well, to me, it's just mind-boggling that we can't. California is supposedly a liberal state, cannot just simply say we will not have forced labor in prison.
Yeah.
To me that it turns out you're right. This is much more complicated because of the way people are spinning it, because of the way some people are perceiving it, even black folks who say, well, they need to make things right, but to me, if you believe that workers should be compensated fairly, then that doesn't have anything to do with anything else. Even without the idea of slavery. Here's the thing. Yeah, and some of the folks were saying, well, they could have gotten their college degrees or gotten a certificate that would allow them to work when they got out, but they were being forced to work for McDonald's or, Victoria's Secret instead. Yeah. To me, you, the worker, even if you don't give a crap about the incarcerated person, you, the worker, are now competing with someone who's getting $1 an hour or $10 a day. So that harms people who are not incarcerated too.
Yeah, I mean, those people who voted against, was it Prop 6? They need to watch that documentary, the 13th on Netflix. It really breaks down like the whole notion of involuntary servitude and how it came to be and how racist the policy is. The amendment is, right? So it goes back to the foundation, right? It's hard to build a beautiful home on a rotten foundation. It's hard.
Courtney says it's back to the days of Governor Pete Wilson and the prison profiteers game. Paul says you see who they have out there fighting those fires. Yeah, especially since the National Guard is busy over here arresting workers.
Well, I mean, that lawsuit got like 2,000 of them out of L.A.
Yeah.
So that's a good small little victory. But I feel like Donald Trump's so evil, like he gonna come back even harder. But we're gonna celebrate a little small victory for now. You know.
Well, yeah, which also means there's still 2,000 of them here, and they're talking about deploying Marines. But
Marines.
But you're right. We have to celebrate our victories and remain fearless.
Weighing on the water. Why they want to say no?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, that's the Navy.
800-920-1580 if you want to jump in. But Sherri, tell them where to find you.
Oh, Sherri Day I Ghetto on Instagram.
Sherri _Day_La.
I don't know why
_Ghetto.
Told me too many underscores. I don't know why they made me do it like that.
You can find her.
Oh my God, it's 7:00. All right, y'all. Stay fearless.
Stay fearless. Yeah, it's time to talk reparations when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Black Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is celebrating after the city council failed to override his veto of a controversial curfew ordinance.
Today, we are doing the right thing. We are deciding to focus on investing in people.
The measure, backed by Alderman Brian Hopkins, would have let police set curfews citywide with just 30 minutes' notice. It fell short by 7 votes. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is expecting to get key police union endorsements as he seeks re-election. This comes just after a former NYPD commissioner filed a lawsuit accusing the department of corruption under Adams. And fans are dragging a new Tina Turner wig launched by her estate. Made from 100% Remy human hair and designed by her longtime stylist, the pricey piece was slammed online, with some saying it looked like Little Orphan Annie. It was pulled from all platforms within hours. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Major League Baseball season resumes today after the All-Star break. The Dodgers are at home tonight against Milwaukee. The Angels are at Philadelphia. The Detroit Tigers open the second half of the season with the best record in baseball at 59-38. The Dodgers have the second best record at 58-39. Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams announced his retirement. The 30-year-old Williams played 7 of his 8 NFL seasons with the Chargers. Williams was struggling to recover from an undisclosed injury from last season. Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders hosted a community festival at an apartment complex in Cleveland that was damaged by an explosion and fire on June 23rd. More than 40 residents had to move. One person was killed. Deion's son put together the festival that included free food, haircuts, and games for kids in the area. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new